All right, in this video I'm going to talk about this other little table that I have set up next to my palette that's holding, got a jar that's holding my brushes. I have a water jar to clean my brushes, and I also have a roll of paper towels and a palette knife. So it's just good to have all of these materials sort of there in front of you where you can reach them easily. The brushes that you're using, some of you have gotten bristle brushes, some of you have gotten synthetic bristles. They're both fine. I use both of them. It's important to make sure that you clean your brushes at all times. So even while you're painting, while I'm painting with acrylic dries pretty quickly relative to oils. Oils can take overnight, but in some, depending on the temperature and humidity and so forth, acrylics can dry pretty quickly. So if I've used a brush and then I'm going to use another brush for a while, 15 or 20 minutes, I'm not going to just leave that brush on a table and let it dry, because even if you think you can get most of the paint out, some of it's going to stick in the bristle, and that'll slowly reduce the life of the brush. So if I'm not using a brush at that moment, I'll put it in my water jar and let it sit there and soak and stay pliable while I'm working with the other brushes. At the end of the session, also really important to clean your brushes. And what I do is just rinse them out in the water, and then in the sink, just with lukewarm water and a mild hand soap, I'll sort of wash the brushes, and I'll run my fingers through this area of the bristle. It's right next to the metal, which is called the ferrule. And because that's the place where the paint tends to start collecting. You can see on this brush that it's starting to get dark along there. So that's paint that's sort of collected in there over time. And obviously, the more that works its way up to the top, the stiffer the bristle is going to become, the less pliable and useful the brush is going to become. So if you take care of your brushes, they'll last you a long time. If you don't, they won't last very long at all. With the synthetic bristle, no matter how well you take care of them, they're just not going to last as long as the bristle brushes. But they're important to have. I think it's a finer bristle, and it gives you a cleaner sort of line if you need that. So they're good brushes to have. All right, so the main thing, again, is to make sure that when you set up, you've got all of your materials there in front of you in a way that allows you to look at your model and to see your canvas, to see your palette, to be able to do that very easily, to not have to sort of turn around and run around and find the paper towels after you started. You want everything there so that you can just concentrate on what you're painting and not have to interrupt yourself.